Hello everyone, welcome to today's video. So today we are going to talk about enumeration of SSH. So SSH is basically a secure shell, which is a cryptographic network protocol that enables secure communication and remote management of system. And it is commonly used for remote login, like accessing and managing server or devices accurately, or it is also used for file transfer using tools like SCP and SFTP. Also, it is used for securely forwarding network traffic, and it is commonly run on the port 22. And enumeration of SSH, it's quite essential. I think this helps in identifying the SSH version and enumerating SSH configuration, or we can perform the brute force login. And that what actually we are going to do in this video. So you are going to use the MSF login, MSF console. So write it down like MSF console, which is a framework. I have discussed about the MSF console in the previous video. So let's get started, which is a Metasploitable framework. It will take some times. So yeah, as I'll be enumerating the SSH, so I have to search for SSH. Okay, if I press enter, so I get about 161 result. So my target is to find out the SSH version. Okay, so particularly we'll be looking for the auxiliary. Here you can see the auxiliary scanner, but this is not for the SSH version, right? We can have found another auxiliary, but again, this is not for the SSH version. So I think, yeah, we got it. So in the 94 we can see it is used for SSH version. So what we can do, whether we can use this whole address or we can use the number. So I'm going to use the number. It's 94. So let's go ahead and use the number, which is use 94. So I'm in the scanner SSH and SSH version. If I write down the info, I'll get the information. So here we can see that we can set the our host, which is our target host, and I'll give everything. I'll give our port thread timeout as by default. So I'll be just setting the our host. So let me set the our host. Set our host, and as I'll be performing that uh, in uh, in the vulnerable machine Metasploitable 2, which is this one, so the IP address of this Metasploitable 2 is 192.162.1.4, and if I press enter, so my our host is set to this particular IP address. If I want to cross check, simply I have to write show options. We can see that the host is set to this particular IP address. Okay, and if now write down the run. Okay, so we got it. So the service version is basically 4.7 p1, and we can see the vendor is open BSD. The protocol is SSH. Also, you can see the family and product, which is open SSH, right? So that means we got the version of SSH. So the next thing that we are going to see is the SSH login, where I'll be performing the brute forcing. Okay, so for now let's exit that. Okay, let me start the MSF console. It will take some time. So yeah, like previous, so now my goal is to find out the SSH login. So simply what I can do, I can search for SSH, or I can narrow down the search. So earlier we have seen when I used the search SSH. Okay, let me write it. So now we got the 161 result. If I want, I can narrow down the result. So let me do that. This is complete. Okay, let me write it down, then I will explain. Auxiliary and name is SSH. So when I just typed the search SSH, we got about 161 result. But now I'm trying to narrow down the results so that I can find out the SSH login early. Okay. If you want to, if you want to, you can do that, or you may skip it. It really doesn't matter. So here we can see that we got about 20 result. So here what we have done, what we basically mention the type, which is auxiliary, and put down the name, which is SSH. Okay, so you can do that. So now we got about 20 result, and you have to find out the SSH login. So we can see in here, so this is the SSH login, right? So we have to use that. The number is 8. So what we are going to do, use 8 and press enter. So now I'm in the scanner, SSH and SSH login. Let me write down the info. So here we can get the information, right? Here we can see what I have to set. So basically I have to set down the, as I'll be performing the brute forcing, so I have to set down the pass file, and I have to set down the R host, which is the remote host, that means our target host, and I have to set down the user file for brute forcing. So that means I have to set three things. One is user file, one is R host, and another one is pass file. So let me set down the R host first. So R hosts 192.162.1.4, and if I press enter, so the R host is set to this particular address. Now let me set down the user file first, this one. Okay, so let me write it down, user, and then file. And then I have to mention the directory where I have common user, I mean this one. Actually this is customized. I actually customize this text folder to save some times, but I will tell you how you can get more you can get more username and password. Okay, so this is in this particular directory, root desktop common password. So let me write it down, root desktop, and then common user pass.txt. And if I press enter, so that means my user file is set to this particular directory. Now I have to set the pass file, which is again in the same directory. I'll be using the same directory to save the time. Okay, if I copy paste and if I press enter, so the pass file is also set to this particular text file. If I want to see whether they are set or not, I have to write show options, and if I press enter, I can see the user file is set to this particular text file, and we can see the R host is this, and we can also see the pass file is set to this particular txt file. Now if I press run, so it has started the brute forcing, right? It will take some time. So if you have a bigger txt file, then it will take long time. So in my case, it should be done within a few seconds, as there are just 4 names. So this is completely customized, right? So yeah, it got already successful. So that means we got successful, right? So the username is msfadmin and the password is msfadmin. As I know, as I am performing this in the vulnerable machine Metasploitable 2, so I know the username and password. That's why I said that's how I set this file, right? So when we'll be performing that in real life scenarios, definitely we won't know the password and username, right? So in that case, what we are going to do, there are so many username and password files in the GitHub. We can use that. Also there are some default credentials that we can use from our root directory. If you go to the if you go to not in root file system, if you go to the user, in user, then you have to go share folder, then you have to search for Metasploitable. You have to search for Metasploitable. Where is it? Hey, yeah, then you have to go to this particular folder, Metasploitable framework, and then you have to go again to the data, and then there is a called word list. Then you have to go to this folder, so you can use any of the text file from here. Okay, also you can collect the username and password file from the GitHub directory, and after getting the username and list of username and password, you can set as pass file and username, then you can perform the brute forcing, right? So yeah, this is about the SSH enumeration of SSH. So yeah, that's it for today. See you in next video.